Hi, it's Ileana, and today we are going to cover the topic of the secret space programs. What are the mechanics of the secret space programs? How is this possible for humans to do service work as SSP assets or any other roles in the human SSP or extraterrestrial SSP programs? Because there's more than one. There's several types. Recently, things have been coming up where this type of a reality is questioned. How is this possible? It sounds insane, but it's not. So we're going to explore that and see how is this done and how are humans part of the service work? So I have Amir with me today, Dr. Amir and Drago Reid, because Drago is an SSP experiencer and Amir has worked with people who have had sessions and regressions about the SSP stuff. So these gentlemen are highly qualified to discuss this topic and explore it to its full depth. Welcome, Amir, and welcome, Drago.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure.
Hey everybody, it's been a while. I kind of disappeared for a little while. Been going through a lot of attacks. The SSP realm is like it's been very tumultuous lately. A lot of attacks coming out of nowhere, a lot of people betraying people, a lot of people close to ourselves kind of questioning the entire SSP narrative and like I guess we just all wanted to kind of get together to kind of explain to people where the misinformation is coming from and the mechanics of everything, how it's actually possible, how we're lied to, how we've been programmed since we were born to question this reality and only think of it as like science fiction, but it's really science fact.
Mm-hmm. And Drago, you've been in multiple SSP groups, and Amir was the first who sort of helped you out and to see everything that you are. So Amir and Drago, who would like to go first to discuss the mechanics of the SSP?
Amir, I think you're the quantum wizard here and very well read in the subject. I think I should just follow you guys.
Okay. So, thank you both. My warmest greetings to our wonderful audience. I hope you're really well. I hope that you find our conversation beneficial to you. Yes, so my point of view on the topic is from exposure to many, many wonderful people who have had these experiences. It seems that there are telltale signs that are virtually identical amongst every single person who's had such experiences and activities in a great variety of space programs, secret in nature. As Ileana said, not all of them are Earth-based. Humans seem to be the commodity here. And so there seems to be periods of rest or semi-retirement, inactivity, where the person is given a chance to heal, a little breather, so to speak, or for certain upgrades and modifications to complete their infusion and integration. The most universal sign with such wonderful people would be implants in the upper chakras. And the main purpose of these would be to prevent memory from working, so they don't remember. Usually, I perceive these in the form of something similar to a World War II German war helmet. Would cover the third eye, the crown, and then extending to the back of the neck, covering the jade gate. And then underneath that, we usually have a great number and variety of parasitic AI plugging in, causing distortion in the peace of mind, messing with the function of sleep, messing with memory. So this was my formal introduction and my first exposure to this wonderful and magical world really was Drago. So we were speaking, I noticed one of these kind of peeking out from the temple. But then I had the privilege of working with many other super soldiers, for lack of a better word. This is universal, this interference with the crown. So this is something that requires a level of perception, and each of us get this in a different way. But there are astral and etheric, energetic implants in every single one of these people. Something else I must add, now beyond the topic of secret space programs and people being brought in as super soldiers, I want to go to the foundation of the matter, that there are many different types of soul coming into this world. Some of them are earth-based, they are new, they're learning basic karmic lessons. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kick the neighbor's puppy, and so on. And then there are more advanced souls, migrants, coming into this universe from elsewhere for very specific tasks. From the non-human souls and those that are very advanced, multi-universal, the notion that star seeds exist, this is more widely accepted in the common, let's say, lore and belief system of the collective. Now, there is a control system in place on Earth. You don't really need to look far and put in a lot of effort to discover there is such a thing. We're all tightly monitored and controlled in one way or another, in many, many ways, in fact. And so the presence of these souls is known before they come into a human body. Usually that's where the targeting or tagging begins. And such powerful souls, because of their very unique gifts, they're utilized in these programs. Now, it's not just the fact that these wonderful people begin to remember certain facts and bring to the surface certain memories. Without exception, they are extraordinary. Even in the 3D life, in the physical sense, there is something that distinguishes them. Could be in physical capability, in their reflexes, in the way their mind works, in the way they demonstrate abilities. So there's lots of little telltale signs all together when you put them next to each other and side by side, a pattern emerges. So it's not just advanced remote viewing that would be able to perceive this, or the memories of these people. When you look at them as a collective, they are highly extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. And these programs, some of them are physical, like on Mars, the moon, because Amir and I have been doing remote viewing of Mars, and we discovered a human-run SSP and extraterrestrials doing weird things next to the SSP. So it's a combination of different things that are going on in connection with these programs, and the soul is a very expansive thing, and the soul can travel. So soul shards can be put into different bodies. And there's time dilation technology in the SSPs, human run NET ones. So soul transference can happen to different bodies, cloned bodies, cybernetic bodies, or even astral bodies or hybrid species bodies of human extraterrestrial beings, where the body is spliced and from, say, exotic mermaid DNA from Mintaka with human DNA, and that soul shard can be put into that. Or you can be time dilated in your own body to serve on Mars or anywhere else. So, with this type of combination, it's possible to be a human on Earth and to have experiences in the SSP because the soul travels, time dilation can travel you backwards, forwards in time, intermediate time. Nothing in space and time is linear when you have these type of operations going on. So you can be in multiple bodies in your own body. Your soul can be transferred, then brought back into your original body, and your mind wiped with mind wiping technology. Because human brains are very malleable in terms of what you can temporarily put on mute, on pause, so that memory You don't have access to what you did while you were sleeping or while you were out for the count, relaxing, whatever. You could be out doing a 60 and back. That's 15 minutes Earth time, but 60 years in that program because it's time dilation. So that's the mechanics that what I know of, what I've experienced as an SSP asset. And I had Neuralink implants in the left side of my brain, I removed them myself with psychic surgery once I realized what that was. So I had that and I had a lot of health problems, but I have medical knowledge on how to fix health problems. That's from the SSP stuff, because that's where my gifts are, and psychic and intuition and all of that. So uh, I was planetary corporations on Mars, that group, and lunar space operations on the moon, studying different species, languages, cultures, and just doing mediation, negotiation work in human run SSP when they work with ETs, because they do work with ETs. So that's my background. Drago, would you like to describe your experiences for us and what you know?
My experience is a bit complicated. I was thinking again of the mechanics of how all this works, and as you guys were talking, I was reverse engineering what you were saying, and I realized it's as above, so below. Basically, these extraterrestrials, they realized that everything is fractalized as above, so below. So if you take the human soul, you can fracture it into pieces and you can insert it into different timelines, into different matrices, and you can exist in the future, in the past, in the here and now. And that's basically the blueprint. And I remember I responded, it was known as the call. Basically, we were told that a planet had been hijacked, and it is known throughout the universe that this is an experiment. And it got out of control, and a lot of us that came here, we kind of got lost in the death trap, the reincarnation loop. And what Amir was saying is, before we get here, before we go through like what you would consider the machine that tags you, as you're coming in, their sensors detect what kind of soul you are. They know everything about your soul lineage, your past, your present, your future, what you've been, what you've done, what you've achieved, and they etherically and astrally implant you. They tag you, your physical soul. And then when you go through what I like to call it, the box is where every soul goes through this one machine, and it knows everything about you. The AI basically diagnoses who you are, and it runs the gematria of what your name's going to be called, and it encodes everything in your name. So during that process, it knows all your skills, all your attributes, what you've done in the cosmos, and then it basically tags you to be put in the talent program, Project Talent. A lot of people refer to that as the tag program, talented and gifted program, but it's actually referred to as Project Talent. And it basically goes in this order. As you guys were talking, I was writing it down. It's basically you respond to the call, then they etherically and astrally tag you to let you know these are the guys that are here to shake up the system. These are the guys we have to watch. Instead of letting them have their mission unfold, we need to target them the most. We need to make sure they never wake up to their abilities, their memories, their mission plans, and we need to weaponize these people through Project Talent. And through that, we get the physical implants, and it's just a nightmare from there. But I remember for the longest time, Earth wasn't like this. Like, even when it was at Maldek, when it was one of the moons of Maldek Tiamat, it wasn't like this. It wasn't a psychotic experiment. And we're getting to the point where we're going to have this. All this is like an AI system, and part of the program is you can have a rise of a civilization, and it has to end. It's part of a natural reboot of this AI system. You have to see what potential is, and then they actually reboot it, because if you don't reboot it, all these Neos are waking up and they're destroying the system. So they have to reboot the system at the very end, at the civilizations. And every time we have this happen, we have cataclysms. We have solar issues coming in. We have the Earth is basically sneezing and causing volcanoes to erupt and solar flashes, and it's to the point where it's kind of encoded in our soul memory that this is the time we're here to wake up. And it's up to us, the people who took the call, just like all three of us. We're here to get past our own programming, even like you deactivating your Neuralink. You know, I like to talk about how Elon Musk basically rebranded Neuralink and called it Neuralink, and it's actually Planetary Corporation's technology. They
Hmm.
use it with Mars Colony Corporation, Luna Colony Corporation, Earth Colony Corporation, and it's standard in all assets. And Jesus, man, like where do we go from here? It's just like you were saying, Ileana, the whole planet was taken over. Everybody has implants. Everybody is tracked. Everybody thinks they're not important at all, to the point where they would think, why would the government want to watch me? It's That's your veil of forgetfulness. You forgot who you are. You know what I'm saying? The subconscious knows how powerful you are. Like us three together, we are the quantum wizards. We are the Doctor Stranges helping people realize that this is an illusion. It's a control matrix. And we're here to like wring people's literal throats and be like, wake the F up. It is time to resist the control. Wake up. That's why I named my podcast The Rebel Collective. We are the rebels. We have to unite together to wake each other up. When I met Amir, it was at the Alien event. It was like the speaker call where all the speakers get together on this like 20-person kind of speaker panel before we do the show. And I remember hearing Amir's voice for the first time, and it was like a light bulb turning, and I'm like, I know this guy. Like, I feel comfort in this guy. This guy's voice reminds me of the voice when I am going into darkness and battle. And it's Amir there to let me know to not go, don't become them. You know what I'm saying? Like the warrior priest. And Amir had asked me after that, he had basically said during the speaker panel that he wanted to kind of talk to me offline, and it really intrigued me. And we had that little call, and he told me about my Kruger stuff. And it was the first time in my life where someone actually mentioned the mechanics of what I've been through, and he told me about the Kruger exoskeletons, how they drilled it into my body, and it gave me chills because like you can tell people about that stuff, but no one really understands it. And for him to know where they like bolted into my body, where I have pains at, like it just blew my mind. And it just from that point, me and Amir has been really good friends. We keep in contact. Like this is our soul group. We're here to remind each other we have to waken up. We have to be there for the people that's being programmed, that's kind of going against the narrative to remind them that they're going deeper in their programming. And the only reason they're lashing out is because they're a powerful soul. And there's specific people in this field that are lashing out and they're kind of questioning the SSP, but like those are the people I have personally verified that's in the SSP. A lot of these people that lash out, I have personally put them under. I'm talking about 3 to 5 hour sessions of someone being under. And I know these people are legit. I have the video references of these people being legit. So it hurts my heart to see people start questioning their own role of this magical realm. And this is where we're at now.
Yeah, I mean, my health, I recently had my health fail because human medication stuff and it's not clean. There's poison in stuff going on and some stuff failed and what did I what did I do? I started working with Amir and crystal healing on my crystalline essence and we did a lot of healing, but I also used my knowledge of the SSP stuff that I did because I did different plasma serums. Um, and basically, there's replicators on all these Mars bases, and I would replicate different plasma serums. When you come to Mars, the atmosphere is different there. It's thinner air, gravity is different. So you have to inoculate the SSP assets so they're acclimatized to Mars environment so they don't suffocate from lack of oxygen. These plasma serums when you replicate them, you don't take it from the human blood. The plasma, pure clean plasma is replicated with different immunological, biological functions. So you can breathe on Mars. You don't lose bone density, strength, muscle strength, because in space you have all those deficits, but you don't have those deficits when you're inoculated with these plasma serums. And that's what I used to do on these Mars bases. I designed them and replicated them and inoculated the new assets that would come in. And that's what I remember, and I applied it on my own health to improve my biology and immunology. And I used naturopathic, homeopathic remedies to improve my health, and they use the purest form of plasma to heal on Mars and to do these inoculations. So it's pure, equal, and balanced. In these SSP programs, they don't just do weapons and other stuff, they also work on health and creating biomedicines, biological drug serums, um, holographic medical pods, and other regeneration technology. So they do a lot of advancements in medicine and health medicine, healthy, not poison, healthy. So they do have that aspect. And that's what I remember doing, and that's what I used on myself, and it worked. If I didn't have those memories, I wouldn't be able to heal myself effectively. Doing the work with Amir and doing the other homeopathic and plasma work on myself, all in conjunction. So I know this is true because it actually works for daily application of life here on Earth as well, in a different format, but it works. So that's proof enough for me that what I did, I can still do here with other tools that are similar, and it works.
So something that I would like to now branch into is the technology of becoming spacefaring and colonizing a planet like Mars that has gravity and has atmosphere. This is also true for the moon, although the gravity is significantly lower. There's a very thin atmosphere there. Now, first of all, the human body is an unbelievably capable machine. It adapts really, really rapidly to a change in environment. The technology of going into space is trivial compared to the technology of going deep undersea. So all these people laying under ocean cables and power lines and fiber optic connections, that is much, much more sophisticated. So every 10 meters, every 30 feet beneath the surface of the ocean, we go up 1 atmosphere. And so in space, there's the vacuum outside, and you only need to keep 1 atmosphere of pressure inside the vessel. So we could do this 200 years ago with regular submarines. That's not very complicated whatsoever. So the technology has existed with us for centuries. The matter in question is exotic energy. Even if we just used traditional nuclear energy, we could still do the colonization of our entire solar system. Now, there are people coming out. I did share with both of you an interview with Catherine Fitz. And so she was saying that, yes, apparently they've got these exotic sources of energy building up on what Nikola Tesla was working on. And it's been available for quite some time. And if I quote her, all these things flying around with exotic speeds, they're not burning coal or rocket fuel. They've got some other source of energy, and that is here now. This is very much human. And so our natural development has given us access to this. However, it is compartmentalized. And so the other term that was used was the breakaway civilization. Who these people are, how they work above the law, how they have impunity, how they have access to resources beyond imagination, and what they're putting this money into. How every 100 years there seems to be some sort of a financial harvest where the middle class and lower class are drained. And then crazy sums of money go missing. This is where these funds are going into. So there's evidence all over the place um, just compounding and adding to the mountain of evidence already existing. On the human side, we've had the capability to colonize every planet in our solar system for at least a century. Now, from some of the remote viewing projects that myself and Ileana did fairly recently, it seems that these guys they're benevolent. Now, surprise, 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 they're running a clean operation. They care for their members. There's strict discipline, yes, tougher than regular military discipline, but everybody gets good health care. They are well fed. The environment is carefully monitored, all the way from the food that they eat to the air they breathe, the water they drink, and carefully monitoring that the food they have has good nutrients. They're cared for. Even in those retirement phases, they're watched over. And as an honored comrade, they're not just cut loose. So, looking at what they're doing, well, they seem to be aware that we are not alone. That is painfully evident, and that not all of these non-human entities are benevolent. They look at humanity as a resource, and so the Earth-based programs, to a very large extent, have been building strength in the past, let's say, 150 years or so, gaining technology so that we have a fighting chance, so that we don't have to just sign away our children down the river, so that we don't have to do the sacrifice that for many thousands of years our ancestors were forced into. So those that actually, I'm going to use Drago's words, that heed the call, that is an act of service. Um, there seems to be a great divide between this breakaway civilization and the general public. But there are good reasons for this. It's not out of evil. People can be easily weaponized. We've seen this even amongst our colleagues and friends who are in the know. It's easy to flip a switch and get them to act in an unbecoming way, attacking themselves and what they know to be true. Now imagine the general public that are heavily infiltrated with implants and belief systems. They can be weaponized towards us, towards ourselves. So a certain level of secrecy is needed as we, as a human species, gain our freedom, gain our independence. So those who have had membership in these programs, I would say they are the best of us. There are certain programs that are non-Earth based, focusing on the whole process of harvesting humanity. This has given rise to a universal drug trade. Substances extracted from the human physical and energetic structure are turned into potent narcotics. And many species, I call them the frickin' pirates. That describes them really well. Different reptilians, greys, insectoids, arachnids, non-humanoids. They're pirates and they're taking their slice of the pie. The human-based programs are giving us a fighting chance. So it's an honorable pursuit. It's an act of hardship. For example, the Mars program is difficult. They don't get to come back home very frequently, once every 20 years. That takes a toll on the psyche. This is not an easy job. So at one level or the other, the person knows what they are doing. And it is an act of high service, an act of service towards our species. So that's my spiel. Technology is there. We can do it. We are doing it. And there's very good reason to maintain a certain level of secrecy.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Why is this all being kept secret from the human population? Because they're doing stuff that could freak out people in the population. people are trying to survive on this planet. Sometimes this planet is called the prison planet, which I don't believe it is. I believe this planet is here for us to learn and to advance our abilities and to see who we could be as a human civilization. But these secrets, I mean, it should come out in disclosure. But some of it is specifically classified for a reason. So we're not disturbed as humanity, because if we know too much who all the pirates are and what they're doing, that's horrifying. I mean, what we saw in the remote viewing, I was calmly listening to what you were remote viewing. I'm like, yep, I remember bits and pieces, humanity being used. That's why these human-run Mars programs, SSP, they have a lot of security. They have weapons. They have protection mechanisms to defend their human colonies plus the other more, positive inhabitants on Mars. They have a lot of technology for protection and weapons, bioweapons. They test out bioweapons and develop bioweapons. We saw that. They don't unleash it on anyone, but it's there because sometimes you need to know what you're being attacked with. You have to study it and understand so you can defend yourself against that, and they do that. They don't
You
unleash
know,
the bioweapons on others, but they have to protect themselves from it.
it's a this part of the universe has turned into a dumpster fire. It's gone wild. And so, in order to claim our sovereignty, our right, our birthright, we need to be strong. And something else I would like to add, no human being, regardless of type of soul that animates the body, will betray their own species having their free will. Impossible. That's not who we are. Now, look at a household. Two brothers, they may fight. As soon as there's an intruder, they unite. Look at two neighboring countries. They may have their border dispute, but if there's a third party attacking them and their religion and beliefs and their families, they will unite. This is hardwired into humankind. It is how we survived nature as we were developing and evolving. And so this is another theme that many souls, knowing what the conditions are going to be, they still enter this holographic reality, knowing that they're going to be drawn into the program, some of them non-earth based. The soul does what the soul is meant to do. So while these freaking pirates are doing their thing and thinking they're all smart and intelligent, they're sowing the seeds of their own destruction. Through the theft of energy and light codes from these souls, they're being tagged for a later time so that they can be removed. So I just want to now extend the definition, make it a blanket definition. The honorable humans that have served in these programs, whether they are earth-based or not, have served the highest good of humanity. One way or another, the soul knows. Although some of these actions, looking at it from a very narrow perspective, zooming into it, may not look beautiful. But underneath this chaos, like in undercover agents, which joins a very dangerous cult, these are the most difficult types of missions, where although they may appear as one of the many doing these acts of self-serving and harm, in fact, they're tagging, they're identifying the infrastructure of the control system so it can be removed.
Mm-hmm. And Drago, what has been your experience in the secret space program stuff? Or how did you remember what you did and your interactions with other extraterrestrials as well?
I've been awakened since I was a child. I remember drawing extraterrestrials and spaceships in like first grade. And this was like in the 1980s. Internet didn't exist yet. Sci-fi movies and alien movies weren't really, there wasn't a lot of them in that time. And keep in mind, like, I'm only probably like 8 or 9 years old, you know? Like a lot of people, they have these imaginary friends, and then you realize long term that these are actually other beings that these children are talking to. And I proved this with QHHT. I basically proved a thesis one day. A parent had contacted me and she said that her child was She felt uncomfortable because her child was talking to imaginary friends. And I asked the parent, I said, would you mind if I talk to your child alone without you in the room about it? And she's like, why wouldn't I be able to listen to it? I'm like, because your child has more than likely been told that you're a non-magical human like a muggle, and that child has been conditioned by these other beings and told that if they tell you what's really going on, they're going to be told that it's all imaginary and it's all in their mind and basically it's all made up. So what I did one day is I talked to a child and I asked it adult questions that only an adult can answer or another being, if that makes sense. So like I'll ask, do I have permission to speak to your imaginary friend? They'll say yes or no. I said, I just want to let you know your friend, I don't think they're imaginary. I think they are literally in the room right now. And I want to let you know that I want them to look into me and see that I truly believe they're there. I just can't see them. So I know they're real. So what I want to do is I want to open a dialogue. Can you ask your friend how they came to be upon you or what star system they're from? That's a very specific question. Sometimes I'll say what star system they're from. How would a child know that? So you start asking adult level questions that a child doesn't know how to answer. And due to the quality of the answer, you can tell that these are real realms. So going back to SSP when I was a child, I've known about the program part of it, the MK Ultra part of it since I was a child. That's something I never forgot. The SSP stuff, kind of, I kind of woke up to it when I was 25 during my motorcycle crash. Space stuff just started coming in. I remember just like getting just downloads and memories and just I felt so alone. And when I would go online, a lot of people weren't talking about this in 2005. There were not a lot of secret space program stuff to talk about. So the people I tried to tell it about or try to tell it to, they just smile at you like you're crazy. So like these people kind of make you feel like you're crazy. Like till this day, when I tell someone something about the SSP, I said, I know it sounds crazy, but I always throw that caveat in. I said, I don't expect you to believe me, right? No matter who I talk to. I'm not here to convince anybody what I went through as a child and what I'm going through now as an adult because the SSP has been my entire life. It's been lifetimes. I've been thrown in this lifetimes worth of incarnations just in this singular life. So, as a child, I knew I went through some really nasty adult stuff. And I knew about sex when I was 5 or 6 years old. Imagine, imagine having the mentality of what would be going to like a 20 and back program, and then you're thrown back at like 5 or 6 years old. What would it be like if that child had the mentality and memories of a 25-year-old and understood adult themes and how adults manipulate each other? Think about that. That's who I was as a child. I was alone. I knew what adults were capable of. I knew what adults were capable of at that point. And for a child, that's not fair because I missed my entire childhood over this. I never got to have a childhood. Like, and I never got to have a childhood. I remember just being alone, no father, military father, getting raised alone by my mom, going through these programs and having nothing or no one to talk to about it. So it makes you quiet. It makes you where you might start gaining weight and people will start making fun of you, but they don't realize it's a form of protection you put on yourself, the physical weight. Like I was the fat kid. And it was a physical barrier I put on myself to protect me from those experiences. And what I went through as a child, it made me not even lose my virginity as Drago, not the person I was in the programs, not that slave. I didn't even lose my virginity till I was 17 voluntarily as Drago. You know what I'm saying? So as a child, I literally was repugnant to the idea and relationships didn't really vibe with me because I knew how they were used to manipulate people in the programs. So like I had a ton of these memories. I knew I wasn't from Earth. I knew that I was from another planet and I knew how powerful I was and I was just trauma conditioned as a child to make myself think that none of it was real. They programmed me to think that it was all make believe. It's something I see in cartoons, and like it's never been like that. So after my traumatic brain injury, all this stuff started coming in, and like I didn't know who to talk to about it because the people I tried to, they just make fun of you and talk shit behind your back. You know, that's the unfortunate truth. You know how many times I've been called schizophrenic just because I make an intelligent comment on Instagram or something, and I mention the programs, and a bunch of people come out of the woodwork and call me schizophrenic. It's just like people don't understand that there is stuff going on behind the scenes that they will never wake up to because they're in their own veil of forgetfulness. They don't want to wake up. They're stuck in their matrix illusion. They want their delicious steak like Cypher did when he was talking to Agent Smith. That's why I bought this freaking matrix chair. I am Morpheus. I'm here to red pill and offer people a choice. Do you want to wake up or do you want to remain asleep? If you want to wake up, I'm the guy. I will tell you the truth that will shatter your entire perception of what you think consciousness even is. And that's my core mission. So I've always known about the extraterrestrials. I've always known that the technologies we're discovering today already existed. They've existed for millions and billions of years in other systems. There's nothing we can invent that already doesn't exist, period. All of Nikola Tesla's inventions, they were already invented in other systems. He was just aligning himself to access that vibration to bring free energy to help the earth. Because when he came in as a fully awakened starseed. He knew his mission. He knew the sex trap. He knew to not have relationships because people would be weaponized against him and he would become lazy. If you want to ever, if you ever want to achieve anything, don't be in a relationship. Relationships make you lazy. All you want to do is spend time with your loved one. And basically just time just passes you by and you realize you never achieved the things you wanted to do. If I'm ever in a relationship, Drago's business hours start when that person goes to bed. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for you to go to bed. All right, time for me to research, time for me to do books. When I tattoo all day, I'm literally writing my book and my presentations. I probably spend 80 hours a week outside of working full-time on multiple jobs because that's what I've programmed to be. I only know how to complete tasks. If I don't have a task to complete, I feel anxiety. It's like the life of a soldier. We don't feel complete unless we're completing something. And we don't, and I do it to its, I do not do it until it's finished. I will work all day like a machine. I literally come off as like a T-800 Terminator, like working, completing, building, cleaning up stuff. Like I'm a machine and my body doesn't have fatigue. But that's what I've been programmed to be. So like for the people that don't understand this is a real thing, I only wish that one day you can see who you truly are and how powerful you are, and you can do stuff like ayahuasca or DMT, and you can open your third eye to these memories, or do a QHHT session, or have someone like Ileana or Amir read for you your Akashic record or remote view those things. Like they're not making it up, man. Like a lot of my remote viewer friends, I have verified with other remote viewers blindly the conditions they saw. So like the the, the group of people I keep close to me, they're there for a reason. Like Ileana and Amir, I consider you guys very close to me. And I always refer people to you constantly, like we do to our group. We are here as a group of super soldiers and awakened beings from other planets. And we're here as a collective of souls. And no one is more important than another. We cannot complete this mission without each other. All these people that think they're above people, it's an ego trip. Just because I've done a lot within my Akashic record and SSP and what I'm known for, I have like the Batman mentality. It's part of my programming. Like I realized in gematria, I'm running a lot of my gematria lately with my full name. And it's blowing me away because it's showing all the programs I was involved with. And it's showing that my freaking gematria tells me that I'm a super soldier. And it tells me that I'm being targeted. Everything is written. It's like an AI system computer code. Gematria is basically the AI telling you who you are, the blueprint of your soul. Everything connects to everything. Every system is a system, just like what I'm saying. Like Earth is a system, Mars is a system. It's ones and zeros. That's what all this is. It's a computer program. If you understand it's a computer program, making these bioweapons, you can engineer ones and zeros to target a specific population because they have the signature of those ones and zeros. So, genetic editing, we're only changing the ones and zeros with the AI and the programming. So, we're becoming master programmers. And if you can't understand that all this is a matrix, you are lost. You took the blue pill. You don't want to know the truth. And the truth is stranger than reality. And if you discover the truth, it might shatter your paradigm. It might make you go a little bit farther back, take a couple of steps back, because you're now forced to realize that we've all been lied to. And we've been lied to forever. And Ileana, I truly believe, just like Dolores Cannon said, that this used to be a skull. I believed that for a long time until I started putting all these people under. And after 900 sessions with people in the SSP, I've come to consider that the bad guys, like Amir said, the pirates came in. They found the school where people would come from across the cosmos to see what they're capable of. Is this used to be a place where we can come on vacation? It's like a waypoint between big systems. Outside Earth, there's a big portal, and this system is revered. But the problem is, it makes us a target. And this portal is part of the Orion Belt, and they basically weaponized everything around this school and these other schools. Like Mars was a school, Tiamat was a school, and then the pirates came in and they took all over all of them. I like to give the analogy of, has anybody here seen the movie Wreck-It Ralph? Wreck-It Ralph is about a video game where the main character escapes through the ones and zeros and enters another video game. So that's what happened. These pirates left their own video game. They entered another set of video games and took over. They started editing the code, saying, we're the controllers. We're removing your entire memory. We are the gods. We are the Anunnaki. I am Yahweh. I created you. Come on, man. That's what had happened. It's the Wreck-It Ralph system. We're part of a Wreck-It Ralph system. That might be a name of something back in the day, Drago's Wreck-It Ralph system. But I believe that's what we are. We're video game characters caught in a story that is being written not by us anymore. And we're here to wake people up to that script.
Spot on.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's a new movie coming out called Tron Ares, where from a different parallel reality, the humans are coming into our normal reality, and you see the advanced tech, you see the implosion of both worlds. I'm looking for something. I am searching. I need to find it. And this huge craft coming into Earth, and the police attacking it, trying to burn it down, and keep searching, searching for specialized humans. I mean, that's soft disclosure of SSP programs, parallel worlds, realities merging, coming apart. Like it's there, shown in movies, more prevalent now, and it's called science fiction, but it's not science fiction. Science, real human life is weirder than science fiction, what's possible. So there's no limit on creation or what you can do or what the soul can experience. The soul can experience multiple things at the same time because there's many levels to your soul. It's not just one piece. So it could be SSP stuff you're experiencing. It could be other things you're experiencing on a creator multiverse level, multiple possibilities. And then you have to put it into the puzzle pieces where it fits and what it is to make sense of it. That's what I did when all these memories surfaced of ET abductions, ET contact experiences, the SSP. It wasn't just one thing that I was part of, it was many different things. And I had to make sense of it so I wouldn't go crazy. That's why I worked with learning hypnosis from my shaman teacher, Native American Métis shaman teacher, soul retrieval, past life regression, all those things to make sense of who the heck I am and what I have been part of. Otherwise, if I didn't understand, I couldn't work on myself for healing or even operate in this world that I'm in. So for me, it was at the age of 28 when all of this started coming forward, what I had been part of. And once I made sense of it, it's like, Yeah, that's totally plausible. There's no limits on what the human soul can experience. So for me, it wasn't a shell shock to understand what this is because I chose to do the work through hypnosis, through soul retrieval, through many different modalities that help you remember who you are and understand your purpose, your role in reality, and who you can be, who you are, and what your future is. Because then it's not insanity once you know and understand reality. What's more than the 3D matrix that we live in or operate in. So that was kind of my introduction to all of this, and I chose to work through it. 10 years of understanding and then trying to solve the puzzle pieces where everything fits.
I think both of you just pointed to something really, really important, that remembering the truth, this is going to be enormously painful. It's traumatic. What's gone on Earth in the, let's say, past 250,000 years to our species, to our people, but then what we have been through as individual souls, this has the potential to break the conscious mind. So there's got to be a process of gentle rehabilitation for the collective. The truth is too traumatizing for it to be just revealed suddenly. It has the potential to be the next extinction event, just people losing their minds. Now, those that begin to remember, uh, by the virtue of this happening sooner than the vast majority of the collective, they are very resilient souls. So those that remember, those who are awakened to their own history, they are tougher than the rest. Higher pain threshold, greater endurance, a certain built-in stubbornness, not to give up no matter how bad things get. These are rare. It's like the bell curve. You've got a little bit here, vast majority in the middle, and then on the other side, you've got some that are weaker. The stronger few are the ones that awaken. So, what is going to be coming in the next, say, 300 years is this gentle process as it slowly sweeps through the population. Certain people have been damaged through trauma and belief systems to such an extent that the body is no longer capable of readjusting, of rewiring their neural patterns. And so they need to reincarnate into new bodies with greater conditions of ease for this awakening to happen. It can't be a collective thing. So, what is being done as we speak is the dismantling of the infrastructure. Drago referred to the death traps, or the, let's say, the takeover of the reincarnation grids where the souls are tagged to begin with, where you're put in unusually difficult family lines, bloodlines. It seems the family is optimized to mess with you. This doesn't happen accidentally. Even if it's statistical, it's just unusual. There's intention behind this. These infrastructures, the technology being used against humanity, this is being disintegrated. The good news is, as souls coming into this wonderful planet, we are significantly more evolved and powerful than any of these pirate species. So their greatest weapon is turning our minds against ourselves through belief systems. The Anunnaki, we are your gods, worship us or you will burn forever and ever. That's psychotic. And so we've been conditioned generationally into fear. The fear of pain is worse than pain. At one point, an individual will stand up and say, "Come at me, show me what you've got." And then you see how void, how superficial this whole control system is. But that's just the beginning. There's a long process of mourning and healing involved. And this must be slow and gentle. So that's what we're going to go through as a species, as humanity, in the next 3 centuries. Now, these cyclical extinction events that seem to happen every 10 to 12,000 years, we've been through 30,000 of them. The Anunnaki, 250,000 years, that's about 30. That's nothing in the history of humanity. Well, the good news is there will be no more. Look at what we've achieved as a species in the past 2,000 years. Now imagine we can go for 2 million years. Humanity is going to be back in the game as if the pirates never existed. And somewhere along the line, that was the plan. Now, although these conditions that we are observing on Earth right now are horrific, there's never been so much poverty. There have never been so many slaves of different kinds. There's never been so much injustice. However, the result of this was strengthening humanity against psychic warfare. Now, we're not only biologically incredible, we are psychically incredible as a species. So this is what's coming. So slowly but surely, more are going to come online, one birth at a time. With the weakening of the control infrastructure, the bodies that are being developed will develop fuller. There are certain limitations on what can be, let's say, manifest or activated in our genome. So there are energetic limiters to how a fetus develops. These will become weaker. There's a reconstruction of the nervous system of the planet, Earth, the grids. All these people doing grid work. Hey, I salute you. Your job has worked. So people will be uploading information from the Earth too. Slowly but surely, this is coming to an end. And so we can all take a deep breath. In a few more incarnations, we'll be celebrating the liberty of humanity.
Exactly. And it's like humanity faces so much adversity on Earth, but we can overcome that and we can thrive and live beautiful lives. There's no limitation to what we can do. There's only limits on what we put on ourselves with belief systems and programming that's here, that's all around us. But there was a statement recently that these secret space programs are not true, and this is living delusion versus reality, and that we're obsessed day in and day out with the SSP stuff. It's what our life is focused on. We understand what we've been through and who we are. I don't think we're obsessed with it, but it helps us understand reality, knowing what we've experienced. And you cannot remove somebody's experience, what they've lived as a soul. You cannot take away one's identity from a person who knows who they really are. And it's like the statement was that, your credibility is totally gone if you come out and disclose who you are and what you've experienced. No, your credibility is still here. You're saying you're credible. You're not delusional. Your experiences are yours, free will choice allows you to talk about who you are, what you've experienced, what you've been through, trying to help others so they can learn what's going on too. That's part of disclosure. You cannot shut off a soul and tell them what you can and cannot do. So those statements are like, okay, one's reality is one's reality. Just because you think this stuff doesn't exist or you question that paradigm doesn't mean you should gatekeep others and tell them this is delusional and you're losing all credibility with these kinds of statements. It forces people into boxes and circles. And that's not my identity. I've never been through this because somebody tells me it's impossible, or nothing is impossible in this world. So you can have any experience. The multiverse is huge. So, Drago, what did you feel when you heard those statements?
You just mentioned it puts everybody into a box, right? And I realized they were doing the same thing in Atlantis. They were developing their own cliques in Atlantis. And that's how you developed like the Inkites and the Enlilites and the Mardukites and all these other stuff. You had a universal thing and everybody split into different system and different belief patterns, kind of like political affiliations. And you create separation, and that's part of the AI programming. It wants to create as many subdivisions as it can, so you can no longer identify with the core group. And when you can't identify with the core group, you're at war with everyone and everything. And you were talking about earlier about the movie Tron Legacy. That's the perfect analogy of what happened to this place. Imagine like you have Flynn, the main character. He creates an AI system, which is the matrix within a matrix. And within that matrix is what we are now. Our matrix has been hijacked by another matrix. It's an overlay. And what happened is Flynn, the main character, he realized once he went there, he couldn't create it all himself. It's kind of like the analogy of Source. Source needed help to have sub creators to help create creations. Source needs help, and that's what the sub creators are for. So Source, in the analogy of him being Flynn, he created a mirror copy of himself that was like an AI version, and his name was Clue. I forgot what Clue means. Let's just call it computer learning universe. And Clue kind of took over that and became the bad AI, became the AI overlord, and realized that this control mechanism that was created to help him perfect was a tool of control. And he ended up taking over the system that was created for him that was supposed to be benevolent. In this system, it turned negative. I think the next Tron movie is called Ares. These are both Anunnaki themes. Ares is another name of one of the Anunnaki sons, the god of war. So like they came into the system, they hijacked it, they reprogrammed it. We're stuck in the Tron Legacy version, not the version before he entered the system. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Uh, Another thing you guys were mentioning about how, I mean, it was a school and then it became like this evil thing. But like a lot of people need to realize that the Earth Matrix became a dumping ground from all around the multiverse. They would take people that were the ones that were waking up systems, the anomalies, and they were punishing us and putting us here on Earth in this reincarnational death trap to help us forget. They put the artists here. They put the people that were creating all the technologies for good here as punishment. And we're seeing this in all the Akashic records of the people that's here. We're seeing it in the past life regressions we're doing. We're seeing that it became a dumping ground. So we have some of the most powerful souls here in this planet, in this time, in this space. And it is my sole mission to weaponize that against them. My biggest mission is the art of war. I will take a perceived enemy of mine and I will turn him into my friend. Genuinely, not to manipulate them. You know how many times I put people under with hypnosis and they have a handler there waiting or another ET that's been assigned to prevent them from waking up. So I bring these beings forward through the client, ask them to come up now through time and space and introduce yourself. Hello, who am I speaking to? And a lot of times the handlers, they don't want to speak. But the moment you bring them forward, they can't not become forward. I am powerful. We are powerful. We can pull them up against their will. And you see right when you pull them up, they're the regular client and they just go like this. It looks like they're scowling at you, like they don't want to be there. And I'm like, listen, what's your name? Okay, you don't want to tell me your name? That's fine. Do you have the ability to scan my heart center or to scan my light to see that if I'm here to manipulate you at all? Can you at least do that? You don't have to say yes or no. Scan me to see if I'm here to manipulate you in any way. They scan me and see that I'm not here to manipulate them in any way because I genuinely care about them. I know they're a slave. If they've been assigned to that person, they're probably there against their will. The last person I just brought forward to one of my other clients, I brought a being forward named Tragar. And Tragar was with her for millennia. And he was there against his will. And he's physically imprisoned. And his job, I'm talking about with shackles and everything, and his physical job is to make sure she doesn't wake up, to make sure like people like me don't bring those memories forward to help her wake up. And I realized years ago that a lot of these people that are assigned to help people from waking up, they are as abused as we are. They are mind fractured like we are. They are not there wanting to just do that a lot of the times. Like there are some negative ones that are there that get off doing that and like they do not want us to wake up. But I'm not talking about that case. I'm talking about where I try to heal them through proxy of the client. You know what I'm saying? Because I freaking care about Tragar. I care about the grays that were assigned to another friend of mine that were assigned against their will. And you realize that these beings, they have their own motivations that they can't surpass. They have their own thoughts and their own heart. And like I've got to the point where I'm healing these other beings through the client. And a lot of people don't do that. I started healing the most traumatized negative beings. And once you show them that you're here to help heal their trauma, they become your friend. And I tell them, I will make it my personal mission to try to rescue you. We've identified you. We know you're there behind the scenes. You coming forward put you on a radar for the good guys. Yes, it's on the radar for the bad guys, but you don't realize, what if we're your only hope? What if you're our only hope? We have to assist each other, because if you want to be a slave your entire life through millennia or in a karmic loop of forever, forever's a loop. I don't want to live forever. I don't want to be caught in a machine. I don't want my consciousness to be put in a computer. When I die, I want to pass this death trap and get as far away from it as I can. Of course, I'll come back to help. That's part of the call. I don't fear getting caught in that death trap because I know it exists. I woke up in this life to the death trap, even though that veil of forgetfulness told me it never existed. Took me a long time to realize that I don't have to fear talking about it, because for a long time I was stigmatized, especially from the QHHT people, because when you tell people that Earth is actually a kind of like prison, they don't like to hear that, because it basically goes against what Dolores said. And even when Dolores comes through in my sessions, she admits a lot of the stuff that she never talked about, she regretted leaving this planet and not passing on certain knowledge from fear. And we have to waken each other up for all this. We have to let people know this reincarnational trap and reincarnation, there's a part of it that's not natural. And a lot of these past lives we're living on Earth, it's because we were recycled into the system against our will. And we didn't have these awesome lives and fulfill our mission. And we had these digging potato lives, like Dolores likes to call it. We had those digging potato lives because we were programmed to. Because remember, if we came to this school to experience, to learn how to control our manifesting abilities, because this is what this earth is for, before we go to the higher dimensions, we're here to control our thoughts. If you can't control your thoughts, if you go to the higher realms, if you think harm on another being in a higher realm, it's instantaneous. You can harm that being instantaneously. There's no barrier between that. So you have to learn to control your thoughts. And that's what we're here to do. If you can control your thoughts, you can control any system. I don't care what the system is.
Exactly. And
Beautifully said. Yeah.
yeah, and other people's statements cannot devalue some person's soul and their experience. You cannot devalue a reality of another being, a living being. So no matter people saying, oh, you're delusional, this is not real, you've never been in the SSP, you couldn't possibly be in the SSP. Well, those people have to also look at their themselves and potentially the trauma they're going through and what they're working through. Because if you're making such statements, you're going through something yourself. Disbelief or belief, like you're looking for a validation of your own. Even if that person says they're not looking for anything and they're just making a generalized statement to get people to like not buy into this fad of celebrity and whatnot. We're not celebrities. We're not here to make this a popular thing. We're here to understand a truth of reality outside this weird matrix of 3D worlds. We're trying to understand who we are in this world and what happened to us. That's how it starts, understanding, knowing. And these are all experiences on a quantum level. So you can't devalue somebody's experience, and free will choice allows people to have experiences so the soul can learn and grow. You can't stop that process. It happens to everybody on different levels of reality. So a statement doesn't devalue who I am, and talking about this stuff doesn't ruin my reputation, my credibility. It doesn't. because this is just us sharing information, a truth, a reality, what we experienced, what we know, and to shed a light to this puzzle piece.
You know, the truth of it is that reality, what has happened up to this moment, is filled with tragedy, loss, and pain. And once we're faced with this truth, we go through the natural stages of grief that are built into us. One of them would be denial. And then you start bargaining. What if this? What if that? You know, you go through stages and finally you come to acceptance, which is full circle and healing. And so the other thing is that many people, depending on what their identity is, who they believe they are, again, quote unquote, believe. If you believe you're just a human of a certain age, a certain race, a certain religion, and that is all you are, then the conscious mind goes to war with reality. And no matter how powerful that truth is, there's going to be a combat, internal struggle. So, not throwing any shade on anyone, we're all at our own stage of development. Everyone is valued and honored. And so, us coming here, we want the best for everyone. This is what drives us. There's this deep care and compassion and will for the best, the highest good of all. So I suppose we could probably share some useful techniques, right? So I'm not saying believe me, I'm saying believe yourself. And so therefore, knowing that self is so important, knowing your own baseline. So what would really help to alleviate and lighten up the side effects of the control system? That would be meditation. Meditation and connection to nature. That is where the holographic reality becomes weakest. So if you go into some beautiful scenery, flowing water, birds singing, trees, and it may take a few minutes for the mind to calm down, and suddenly you hear the leaves dancing in the wind, the birds singing, the sound of the water. That's always been there. You're just too caught up in the matrix with all these jumbled up thought processes being bombarded upon you. So going into nature and learning how to quieten down the conscious mind, the monkey brain, that would be very, very beneficial. And then to ask questions. Who am I? And then just calm the mind down and wait for it to stream in. Connection to the infinite soul. Despite what people may believe, the truth of it is we are all tapped in. That connection to our infinite soul and the source of all things is never gone, even if we don't believe in it. So that is the truest way of liberation. You see, there's so much misinformation out there. And certainly there are so many consolidated efforts and projects in discrediting the truth. Like that chap, what was his name? Corey Good, coming in, collecting stories from so many different true experiencers, putting it all together, and then saying, oh, by the way, it's all BS. That's an act of sabotage. That's sabotage. So, in the fact that sabotage exists, there may be the probability that there is some truth behind it. Now, what would an individual do? You know what? Trust no one. Don't trust me. Don't trust anyone. Trust yourself. Now, if one person comes to their own truth, it doesn't matter what the world says. If so and so says, you have no more credit with me. Okay, bless you. Live and let live. It makes no difference. Once you know who you are and what the truth is, if the world bows down to you in reverence, it will not add to you. Or if everybody thinks you're a lunatic, it will not diminish you. And so that is what we should seek, considering the enormous amount of garbage information, even worse, intentionally harmful information out there. we must develop first and foremost resilience, a tough skin, and then be able to use our discernment. And so once you know, nobody can take that away from you. So I would strongly recommend some sort of a meditative practice and liberate yourself. Nobody will carry you. In fact, there are lines and lines, everybody waiting to harvest you or use you. That is the truth. Very upsetting, I know. I've cried my eyes out when levels of this remembering came back to me. Oh my God, is this what's been going on all along? Oh, the pain of it. And then you transmute it, and then you become immune. So that's what lies ahead of all of us, whether we're at a certain stage of grief where we deny it or not, or where we're angry and we throw doo-doo at everyone. It doesn't matter. Bless their journey. I wish all of us the highest good.
And ironically, CG, I'll just say CG, was in a secret space program, and one of them was called the Shadow Guard, from what I could psychically see. And CG has psychic abilities,
Yeah.
and but how they're implemented and used shouldn't be used to hurt others and attack others, and making this into a guru celebrity thing, which has been made. And that's how all of this looks like a joke about the secret space programs. And it's not, it's very serious. And just because he backtracked and decanted, like, nope, never happened to me, never was, never did this. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he was in it. And it's real. Even though he chose to take parts of other people's experience and weave it into his own story, some of the aspects of what he said is true to what happened to him on Mars. So MK Ultra, mind controlled, fractured, beaten body, you know, abused, physically abused. That was part of the conditioning CG went through. And that's the trauma still speaking, unhealed issues, the consequences of being abused by the SSP in a program, a dark program. It's called Shadow Guard for a reason, because it literally abuses the physical body, traumatizes the mind, beats you, deconstructs you, fractures you, then puts you back together, and then releases you as a agent to create chaos on Earth between different people, putting warfare, mind warfare, physical warfare, anything you can basically manipulate and use against others. That's what was done through that programming. But you can deprogram yourself knowing that these things are possible. If it's within you, you can deconstruct and you can heal and remove it. It doesn't have to be in you or define you as an SSP asset. You can live your life free of that if you choose to take control of yourself and clean it up and clean it out. If you don't do the work, you're just going to continue, creating, being an agent of the chaos, which happened to him. It's a reality that we've seen for what, 10 years playing itself out in the media, in the world, and in all of these communities. He took over the spiritual community, the SSP community, the media, blah, blah, blah. Everywhere he could insert himself, he did. That's a fact of life, and he's still doing it in a different form, reincarnated, rebranded, remade himself into, talking about his family experiences and encounters with ETs and the spiritual stuff. Um, that's his reality, free to live as you will. But don't manipulate and bother others and say it's not true. Or anybody, like, your own truth is your own. These statements, these triggers, these outcries, so to speak, it's designed to manipulate a person to have an emotional response. Even what the other statement was a couple of weeks ago, which Drago and I saw, and I shared it with Amir, it's designed to trigger an emotional level to come out, for you to say something, to respond to the statement that the SSP stuff is delusional and you can't, as a human, experience that. Well, there's no evidence that you can't. And there's, like, evidence is based on what you think is the base level for it. People don't have evidence against it. There's evidence for it by doing the work to figure out what happened to you. If you think it's evidence and it's your own truth, it's your own truth. You have to deal with the reality of who you are. That's fact.
Speaking of Corey, I think the Corey thing had to happen because I think they foresaw what would happen if a person like Corey didn't come forward and kind of change the trajectory of the SSP. Because I remember the moment I saw Corey Good on Cosmic Disclosure freaked me out because I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and he served at a dome over there at Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth. And when I saw him, he was one of the very first people ever that I recognized from the SSP. And I knew I was hooked. I'm like, oh my God, I've been a fan of David Wilcock forever. I've been following him since before 2012. Like David Wilcock, Wisdom Teachings on Gaia. Oh my God. Like that's before David was infiltrated. If you guys ever watch Wisdom Teachings, next level information, man. I
Mhm.
feel that Wisdom Teaching should be taught in schools. It teaches the fabric of reality. And it sucks what Corey did because I've always known Corey's legit. People saying he made all this up, he stole a lot of shit. Yeah, I, some of it was made up, and a lot of people don't realize that Corey was in the forums of Project Camelot
Mhm.
for about 10 years before he came forward, and it was I forget his name, the guy for Project Camelot. He had outed Corey saying that he was in the forums for a long time collecting information, and he was pirating people's stories and stuff. But think about what would have happened if Corey never came forward. Someone else would have. They would have identified that through chronovisors and looking glass and all the future viewing technology. So if you don't go after that person and control the narrative from that point, you know what I'm saying? It's like Corey knows he's in the programs. It just sucks that he chose the money over the truth because if a million years from now, when I'm gone, if it's only viewing this one point of my time, I don't want to be known for selling out. If you look into my soul, I am not corruptible. You can only program me to be. But me, you cannot buy me. There's no amount of money that you can pay me to do anything. I don't care what it is. I'm incontrovertible. You have to be that. You have to live it. And I will die for it. I've died for it so many times. That's who I am. But I will not, I'm not, I'm not, I won't become a person that did this for money. Because like people always makes this comment, you're doing it for the money. What money are you talking about, man? Who made money other than Corey Good and David Wilcock? Name one person. I don't know anybody. The more you talk about the SSP, the more they attack you.
Mhm.
The more you talk about the SSP, the less events you get invited to speak at. They're starting to control the narrative where Contact in the Desert literally kicked out all the secret space program people. When they did that, I felt it was crossing a line because I've been with Contact in the Desert for a long time, and I saw it change over time. And after the Corey Good and David Wilcox stuff, it's like they gave up and they wanted to do more science. I'm like, hold on. It's called Contact in the Desert. Okay? You know, one of my favorite shows. And you removed the real contact part because the SSP stuff, that is colonizing the multiverse. Those are the people that need to be the headliners talking about what is real. Because guess what? If there's frauds, the remote viewers will let you know they're frauds. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like you guys, you have viewed my Akashic record. You have seen and you know what you know me. You know I've been through some really jacked up stuff. And I can't make that shit up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was taken to the extreme with what they did to me, man, you know? But like, I will only tell the truth. I used to be the kind of person that didn't want to talk about my experiences because I know the attacks would come out of nowhere. And I was shown my future in the beginning with QHHT. They said, when I start speaking my experiences, the attacks are going to come. And then Amir mentioned I have three things that I'm facing, and I'm just going through the first one right now. That's been a battle to the point where I've lost major friendships in my life and people betrayed me, the people that were closest to me. And I've had to walk away the last year and just keep to myself because the people that I trusted, I can't trust them no more because they betrayed me. They abandoned me at the time they should have supported me, knowing that stuff wasn't true, weaponizing the movement against me. And you know all this is real.
Hmm.
And but to see the people I perceived as a true friend stab me in the heart, it's been tough.
And I had the brunt of somebody who just says lies about you, try to write stuff in media and stuff, and I'm like, that never will see the light of day. That never will be published publicly because it's slandering your character. I can see through lies and I can see through deception. This weird, imbalanced person was just smearing you with lies. So, what if they were unhappy that something didn't work out in their relationship with you? That doesn't mean they have the right to attack you and go after you. Honestly, they don't. Free will choice, but you don't take it to the point of insanity.
It
And
turns out that person is in the programs too. I considered it the latter part of my life. I'm like, the way that relationship was, I can see the patterns in someone being in the programs, and I didn't accept it. And then I realized after doing the QHHT and remote viewing, I've uncovered from you guys in the QHHT that almost every major relationship in my life was part of me being handled from other people in the programs. And the person we're talking about now, she was weaponized to go against me because they knew it had to have been her. And it's been tough, to the point where I walked away. And no one's been here to support me. That let me know who my true friends were. And I'm psychically sending you who I'm talking about right now. And I felt very betrayed. And you should have knew the real me. You should have known. Like, to the person I'm talking about, shame on you. Shame on you for believing that stuff. And it tells me who you truly are.
this person wrote a lot of heinous things about you, which I'm like, this guy can never do that. He's not that type of a person. Having spent hours talking to you and knowing who you are, you would never hurt a puppy, much less do the things that you were accused of, which is
Not even an
heinous.
ant or a water bug. Like I
Yeah.
see everything around me as me. It's so beautiful to see a water bug to me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody when they see it, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so nasty. I can't look at it." I'm like, "You're doing that to yourself. You're looking at yourself and calling you disgusting, man. Like it hurts my soul to you not for you can't see it's you in another body, you know?"
And it's just heinous that the word was used, so divisive. That our word is so divisive when it's used in lies against people and weaponizes the soul of a person. And a nice, they wrote to me. They tried to post it on something on an interview you and I did. They tried to post
She did that
their,
on everybody's.
yeah, well, all my stuff is put on preview before any comments are approved for anything on my media. And I'm like, this person imbalanced. They're hurt. They're traumatized that they didn't get their way and they want to be seen. They want to have attention. Look at me. I'm in pain and I'm in trauma and I'm not balanced as a healthy being. I can see what their pain is, doesn't excuse their behavior. It doesn't excuse that and to accuse you what they did. Like that's an imbalance. That's a program running itself. And until they get the help they need, they're not going to be healthy. They're not going to be happy. Work on
In
yourself,
fact,
do your work.
these kinds of, let's say, character sabotage, slander, it works very, very badly on the person. Down the line, it's going to have even a more traumatic event on them, knowing that they have done such a thing that is absolutely unjust. And there's karma to pay, without a doubt. So this is not something that you do and walk away from. There's going to be karma, many lifetimes of learning, being on the receiving end of it and experiencing it. So, you know, such is the nature of our times. The control system is not going to go away willingly. They are sore losers. They're not going to walk away like gentlemen. This is what they've been doing, and this is what they will do. So let's remove our personas, the human, out of this and speak from a place of lack of identity, death of ego. The beings that entered this machine, and restate and re-emphasize the intentions that healing is not easy. Healing is painful. You must be brave. Defeat will not be rewarded. Bravery and victory will be rewarded. Do not trust. We are in convoluted times. There's so much poison out there. Do not trust anyone. Trust yourself and your connection to Source. So someone who is connected to Source will look at this, and immediately they will discern the energy of hatred. And you will not read it. You'll just shut it down. You won't go through the second paragraph. You will feel. You see, that is built into every one of us. And that is what we're looking for. The liberation of our fellow human beings. Nobody's going to carry you up the mountain. If someone comes and tells you, I've got a weekend course that'll do this and that, I'm calling BS right now. It takes months and years of meditation. You have to put work into yourself. Focus on the wounds and bring them to the surface. If I have no wound, nobody can press my button, you see. And so these are people who are traumatized and unhealed, and then they are weaponized. Somebody pushes the button somewhere else, and there's karma for those beings too. We're moving to the eventual clearing up, like a wound that is infected, and there's pus coming out, and the immune system is doing its thing. We're at that stage now. Slowly it's going to dry up and heal. Those that are speaking their truth are the most powerful amongst us, with the toughest skin. So for the wonderful ladies and gentlemen that are hearing our story, each of us in one way or another, have been on the receiving end of slander, right? Of untruth, of hatred. Well, that's probably an indication we're doing something right. If we were one of the sleeping, nobody would have the time or energy to spend on us. Wonderful ladies and gentlemen, please, please meditate. Know yourself. Put energy into yourself. Self-love. Heal. Shed the shackles of trauma. And try to develop your discernment through your heart. If anything is not loving, it is not true. And that's what's in your mind. Make an oath towards yourself that if something is coming up with relation to your wonderful self, you will treat yourself with love, respect, and take actions that are healing and beneficial. Once you make that oath towards yourself, anything else coming in is not you, and so you can deal with it.
And having the dignity and the integrity to know your own truth, to speak your own truth, to understand who you are and not let other people's statements derail your journey of experience. Like when I read that statement, I talked to Amir, I talked to Drago, I'm like, we need to discuss this in a respectful, open way that is being adults, not judging anyone. But what is this? Where is this coming from? Why now? And figure this out between the three of us because it hit Drago when I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this person has their own right to believe whatever they want, but they're trying to get others to respond, even though they're saying they're not doing that. They're looking for something, for a response to activate, to trigger emotion of one way or another, to defend yourself or not defend yourself. I'm not defending myself. I'm not trying to prove anything. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I know myself and I know my truth. And that is what I commented to them. And they went off and, to me. I'm like, free will, free choice. I know who I am. I'm going to stick to what I know, my integrity, highest respect to you. You can't tell me what I did experience or not. So the statement itself was a catalyst for integrity and honor.
I agree.
Keep speaking the truth.
That's what it is. These discourses need to happen because like I feel that you have to throw it in the pot here and there to let people know to start these kind of conversations because like it's not about proving what we did to people. It's about opening a closed box that's been locked and realizing that closed box is part of programming and the only way through it is you. To know everybody is to not know yourself. To know yourself is to know all. It's kind of like they say the person that has a million friends, they truly have nobody. You can't be friends with everyone. And true change is within. I've got to the point where I stopped following a lot of people because just like Amir said, they're promising, or you said a weekend ascension courses, like, come on, like you're selling a course on how to ascend, but you haven't yourself ascended yet. And there's not a single person that took your course that has ascended. What are you teaching? And it's for money. So what are you really doing? You know, I don't have any courses. The person that we were talking about earlier, she said that I was selling courses to people and manipulating people and selling all these books. I'm like, what books? Haven't read any books yet. I've been writing books for 5 years. I haven't released any books. I haven't had any courses. I don't have a Patreon. There's no way for me to make money being in the secret space program other than doing hypnosis in person. I don't do it online. It's just QHHT, Dolores Cannon rolls. You got to do it in person. It's very limiting. It sucks, but like I will never betray Dolores's rules ever. When I get into beyond quantum healing this year, I'm going to be doing online stuff. I'm going to be entering y'all's territory and y'all's realm so I can just sit from my own awesome location and just help heal people and help people find the truth of themselves. It's like I tell people, I don't actually heal anybody. The person heals themselves. I didn't show them their past life. They showed it to themselves. They brought these things forward that were traumatic, not me. I'm only holding the space for you to activate your own powers. I'm not the magical one, you are.
Mhm.
I'm only, we are us three and everyone else that helps with this modality. We're here to show people that the power's always been within. Stop looking for answers and start going inside. If you're not blocked through meditation like the SSP, you guys should know if you viewed me, they block my meditating. And it's hardcore. It's like they put a filter over it. No matter how much I try, they won't let me. And it's very frustrating, but I never let that get to me. I never become the victim. I used to be the victim anymore. Now I'm the victor, where if trauma happens to me, I want to face it now. I don't want to wait months from now. I don't want to wait a week from now. Let's do this. You want to challenge me? Let's do it. Fine. I'm not here to beat you. I'm here to show you that you're on the wrong path, and it will not stop me no matter what you do. My destiny cannot be changed. I'm protected at so many high levels right now, even though they target me. They're not taking me out. They haven't taken me out. You know what I'm saying? Even if they did, you know what? It was a good life. The trauma I went through, if I end up being killed over this long term, that's fine. Know that I fucking tried for every single one of you. I freaking tried. And I took on some of the most trauma a human can ever take. I took on so much trauma in a singular lifetime that 1,000 lifetimes will never equate to the amount of trauma I went through. But that's what I'm good at. I'm good at trauma. I don't walk away from it. I face it. I don't want to drag it out for years. Let's do it. Let's just get it over with. I don't want the anxiety of dragging it out. I want to face a problem head on. If I am going to die because I'm going up against 100 people in battle, that's not going to stop me from taking as many out as I can. I don't fear my death. I fear not living. I fear to remain in fear by not stepping forward. I am not going to be a coward. I will save as many people as I can, sacrificing my own life, lifetime after lifetime, because that is who I am, because that is the right thing to do.
And also not living in fear of speaking up and standing up to discussing these things, because everybody has the right to talk and everybody has the right to share individually and collectively. And you're welcome in our space. You're welcome in the online community of healing, of hypnosis, regression. Every one of us has unique abilities that can help people and work with people individually, collectively, together on our soul journeys. Everybody's welcome. You don't have to put people in a box and say delusional, insane, real, not real. It's divisive triggering to get people to be put on different lines, into different groups. We're not here to divide. Unity in the community should be something we all try to work towards and not divisively divide the line, so to speak. Everybody has the right to think whatever they want, to say whatever they want, to write. But that statement that was made about nobody possibly being able to be in the SSP, it was a driving catalyst to have an honest, frank discussion, open discussion between three adults who are not going to argue, bicker about it, but will speak honestly and openly about the subject and, have a good conversation about it.
Well, I would like to add something. These bodies are transient. Our essence, our soul is immortal. We have been through many deaths and rebirths, and you come to a stage that it is not a matter of belief. It is pure knowledge. You know. And so therefore, having the valor to stand up, continuing to speak truth, that is admirable, despite the possibility of pain and unjust punishment. That is what drives our species forward. Maybe those exist that are still not ready. Bless them. Eventually they will. These discussions are now immortal. They're in the cloud. They exist. Hundreds of years from now, people will be able to go back and listen to this. So, shedding ego is not about this person. This body is going to be gone pretty soon. But the essence, the truth that is motivating it, that is eternal. I want to propose something beneficial. Now, a lot of this stuff needs some sort of a trigger to activate, seeing that light, seeing that which cannot be unseen, your truth, individual truth. And so we're working with a certain amount of willpower at this moment. And so for what it is worth, we want to maximize its effect. This is a very old modality that has stood the test of time, and it has survived because it works. It's an approach of speaking words of power. You can call them affirmations or mantras. Let's create one. I remember the truth of who I am. I remember the truth of who I am. And so the Buddhists and the Hindu take it to an extreme. They use something like mala beads, so you keep count, and they do over 10,000 reps of it. We're not going to go to that extreme. Just for 1,000 times, and keep count of it. You want it to hit a threshold energy, a minimum required energy for your manifestation to have enough horsepower to come in, because nothing comes from nothing. So putting in this energy, I remember the truth of who I am. Repeat this mantra. This is a challenge, by the way. I'm not saying trust me. There is no me. I'm not saying trust Drago or Ileana. These are just forms. Trust your own infinite soul. Remember the truth of who you are, and you will be free from all this chaos, all this slander, all this hatred, and for that matter, the system of control. This is all for the sake of you and your immortal soul. Do you wish to be liberated? Do you wish to ascend? You are the key. First and foremost, go for your own self-worth and self-knowing. I remember the truth of who I am. This is probably one of the most powerful things you can do.
Exactly. Respect yourself, and others will respect you for it because you stand up for your own truth. And by respecting yourself, you show that you love yourself and you're not going to let yourself be a doormat by other people's statements or thoughts or ideas. You are your own individual. Work with yourself. Free will choice on this planet allows you to choose. Choose wisely, do the work. You're going to be healthy, you're going to be healed, you're going to manifest everything positive that will help you achieve your life goals and dreams. And again, there's no limitation on yourself unless you limit yourself with beliefs and thoughts. That can be cleared, that can be cleaned, that could be healed and reversed. That's why you have second chances and third and fourth and fifth on this world. Try again, and you shall succeed if you want to succeed. Be your own genuine self. That's the most honest truth I have ever learned. Not to expect anybody else to make my own way in this world, make it my own and do the work, and then I succeed.
There is no try, there's only do. That's what people need to focus on. You were mentioning unity earlier, and right when you said it, I broke down the word. I studied word symbolism and the etymology of words, and I thought about something important with unity. We have UNITY, and we cannot unite without UNI, the first three letters of that word. Think about how powerful that is. We can't have these cliques anymore. We have to work together and get past stupid differences that don't even matter. There's only right and wrong. There's no middle ground. You're either in the right or you're in the wrong. And if you want to do what thou wilt, then we will fight you. Because we're here for morality. We're here to show people that some things are not right. And if it's right to you, we will fight your system till the end. But again, we have to all unite together to do this because that's what they want. They wanted to create the cosmic disclosure disintegration into cliques. And that's what happened. That one moment was so powerful for the movement that it made people question the entire thing. Look how it has succeeded. It actually worked. And people they don't want to associate it with it a lot. Some people it empowered them even more because like they seen it was a trap. But can you imagine the poor souls that just stopped believing in the magic? Like I want to help rescue those people. I'm not trying to force it on you, but I will do whatever I can behind the scenes to basically, hopefully, one day allow you to put you in a situation to help free yourself. I stopped trying to save people so much. I realized it was at the detriment of my own soul, where all I did was care for people and try to help them wake up. And I realized the more I tried to force them to wake up, the more I realized it was my ego. Because some of us aren't meant to wake up. And you have to understand that it's part of their mission. They weren't supposed to wake up. They weren't supposed to discover these things. That doesn't mean they're negative. It doesn't mean they're not worthy. It's just they're not here for that. So that cognitive dissonance kind of forcing it away and kind of like put it in a dark room, lock it, and hit delete. It sucks that we're coming to that, but I don't I don't wish ill upon anybody. The person that we were talking about earlier, I've never wished any harm on her. You can look into my heart, into my soul. No matter what happened, I never wished harm for her, not once. I only sent her love despite all the negativity and attacks on a regular basis. I never attached to it. And I say I only wish for your healing because I see how much you're suffering, man, and it sucks because like I cared for that person a lot. I still care for them. And it doesn't matter. It's my heart choosing to remember the person before they were lost. And I will never wish harm for them. I only wish for my enemy to heal themselves to see that I'm not their enemy. You know what I'm saying? We all have to get to that point of awakening where we realize all of our perceived obstacles were all an illusion and it was all part of a test. And if you respond wrong, you lose the test. This is what this life is about. This is what this school is for. It's all tests. If you respond the same way every time, You're going to lose. You got to become the person you want to become. You have to see the person in your mind you want to become. You can't just expect God to give it to you and give you the money and give you whatever you're searching for. You have to create it yourself because you're self perpetuating that in your mind, therefore creating it in the physical reality.
And
So just
also, yeah. And please finish what you were saying. Sorry, I
that's
interrupted.
it. Just the core of everything I'm trying to impart on anybody is forgive the people who wronged you. I've forgiven her. No matter what, if she continues this for the rest of her life, it won't matter because it's not true. I know it's true. Remote viewers know it's true. People who know me deep down, past my superficial friends, you know it's not true. You know? So just start trusting yourself versus everyone else because everyone else is here to manipulate you. Just like Amir said, don't trust anybody. Trust yourself first. Then everybody will be outed. Meaning that you trusting yourself now activated your own psychic sense and you're like, holy crap, this one person has been using me. This one person I thought was a friend, it was actually a long-term game to help use me in a way to help pop their platform up. You know, you have to learn to decipher who's being heart and who's being ego. And this conversation, this discourse we're having now, that's the key to what I'm saying. Things are going to be talked about, and it's up for you to go on the inside and not get in the drama and not feed on the comments because the more you feed on, it's like energy. You're taking all these negative comments and this negative energy, you pull it into your light body. I don't do that no more. You guys hardly ever see me online. Like I don't I get so many messages from people, like it's hard. Like it's hard to respond to so many messages that it's overwhelming, especially on Facebook. I get so many messages that people think I ignore them. You know? It's just like there's so many freaking messages on my Facebook, and if I start responding, it starts 1,000 conversations, just like email. Everybody wants a session from me, but when I start that conversation, it starts an entire long conversation, you know? So energetically, I have to protect myself because I can't help save everybody. I can't be the person to give the information you need to hear at that time because it's at the detriment of my own soul. And it took me 4 decades to realize that I have been wearing myself thin and I've given everything to everyone and I have not got anything back. And it has taken everything from me. So it got to the point where my mission hasn't changed, but it's taught me to now discern and to choose what I take part in from that point on. That's what people need to learn.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you know, that's 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 very profound. It's how the most powerful beings of light and divinity are taken down. So it really requires a slight adjustment in our operating manual. Line one, insert please. All love starts with self-love. And if something diminishes line one of the code, that should go. Because if we're giving, 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 that is a beautiful thing. But if we go into our strategic reserves where it dims our light and weakens us, we're not capable of being good for ourselves or anyone else. There's only so much energy that one vessel and one energy structure needs to be peak and tip top. Once there's an overflow, then let the overflow wash across the cosmos. So may it be. It's not about accumulation of energy. That's physical thinking. It's about how much you can flow, how much you can channel and pull through. Right now, we're sitting in a relaxed and calm and friendly environment. There's mutual respect, there's so much love, so we're not pulling in much. Need be, we can pull in the energy of a sun, be the volcano, be the tornado. That is power. It is not about accumulation. And so all love starts with self love, keeping ourselves in that state where we have the ability to pull that through. And once we discover that, that is a major victory. We can't be taken down by deceit, by programs of, let's say, sacrifice, by the distortion in the notion of love, what service is. So if everything starts with the honored self, then the rest will naturally fall in line. And sometimes we have to go through very, very tough experiences to remember this. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. And because it has been so tough, it's not something that we will easily forget either. In following incarnations or our continuous journey as a soul, this will be with us.
And
Now,
sorry.
sorry, one tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Drago, with this expression of unconditional love and benevolence towards the person that caused so much distortion. This is a demonstration, first of all, of purity, but most importantly, of victory. You see, these are done to either drive you insane, to kill you, or to flip you and make you evil. None of these have occurred.
And work.
That is your victory. Let me be the one to say it. That is your victory. And so, who cares what anybody thinks? That's in their mind. To thine self be true. You know the light that you hold, you know the truth that you speak. You're not afraid of unjust punishment or censorship or whatever. Keep being you. That is why you are here. And you know what? Some people aren't ready. Bless them. I send love and compassion to them. May they learn and evolve. But your message will reach the few that are ready to pop. That is another major victory. So this message of truth and love, again, you're not tooting your own horn. Me, 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 me. No, no, no. There's none of that. And in fact, we are saying, don't trust anyone. Don't trust us. Please trust you. Now that is powerful. Nobody can poo-poo that. Nobody can diminish that. We're giving everybody a reminder. You are the most important person. All love starts with self-love, and know yourself. So that's my spiel.
Mm-hmm. And I've been asked in sessions, can you tell me if I was in the secret space program? Did I participate in this? And I say, I cannot tell you whether you were in the SSP or not. I cannot invalidate any of that. If I see something in memories in the Akashic records that indicates you might have been in this space program, I will tell you about it, what I see, but I'm not telling you to believe that or to live that or take that on as your sole identity. That could be an experience you've had in a parallel life, in this life or another life. It could be something that you chose as a soul to experience, but I cannot invalidate whether you have been or have not been. If I see it there in the record, I'll tell you honestly about what I see, but I don't want you to take it on and indoctrinate yourself into that scene and start living it and making it your own identity. Yes, she validated I was in the SSP and this is what she told me she saw. Yes, I could see in the Akashic record what it was and what happened in the memory, but that doesn't mean it's your whole identity and you should identify with it wholly as who you are. It's part of one experience in a multitude of various memories and experiences that a soul can have. So I'm not here as a practitioner to invalidate yay, nay, or whatever. What I see is what I see, and I will honestly say this is what I see as a practitioner. Take it or leave it as you will, interpret it as you will. I'm not here to invalidate. Yes, this is it. This is the most important thing in your life. There's many important things in your life that happened or will happen to you that are part of your Akashic record. There's a multitude of things to see. Ask the right questions and you shall get the right answers. That's part of the whole process. So it's not about validation, it's not about proof, it's what you want to know as a soul, what you've experienced. And you interpret that as you will on your own. Every person is different, will have a different idea, viewpoint, how they interpret something or don't. I'm not asking you to believe anything. What your experience is, how you choose to experience that is up to you. Free will choice allows you to make that choice, and nobody else can choose for you anything in this world and beyond. live for yourself, choose for yourself, love and respect yourself and others, and take away whatever you want from anything that you learn or experience. It's up to you as a free will choice soul to have that choice. Nobody can take that away from you ever. That's my little takeaway.
And in that, I want to give a warning in the end that the people that's curious if they were in the secret space program and they don't actually know, I'm going to warn you right now. Once you get confirmed you're in the SSP, it's going to change your life and it'll change who you are because from that point on, it's all you're going to think about. Me, my entire life, I've been a program person my entire life. The moment I wake up, I think about programs. When I'm daydreaming, I'm thinking about programs. Right before I go to bed, thinking about programs. If you can remote view my mind, it's all I think about 24 hours a day. I can't escape it. And it kind of sucks because like that's who I've become. You know, you want to discover things about yourself, but I'm just saying be careful because once you do, you're going to change the trajectory of your entire life. And it's going to be something you cannot foresee. And it's going to be plaguing you every single day because if you were in the programs, you're going to find out things about yourself that happened to you as a child that involves adults. And to have those memories, it's pretty traumatic. If you wish to know that truth about yourself, be careful. Because once you start seeing stuff, you can't unsee them. And it'll, like I'm saying, it'll change you for the rest of your life. And Ileana and Amir, we were talking about giving that energy and not getting it back. I think about you guys all the time and the projects you both have done for me. I send you both love every single day, every time I think of you guys. And I realize that I've known from the beginning. I know I don't talk to people a lot and I'm always elusive to get a hold of. But that doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you guys. All the beings that's helped me in this lifetime, I think about you all the time. And I just wanted to let you know, like Ileana, you've done a lot of projects for me. And I thank you more than I can ever thank you. Like I want to pay you back so much. And I'm going to do it in other lifetimes in this lifetime because they've hurt me in ways that prevent me from sometimes returning that energy back. And I just want to let you know, thank you. Like, thank you from my
Bless
heart.
you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
And I don't
You
want you
know,
to pay me back in any way, shape, or form in this life or the next.
the,
You showing up, you working with us, that's the most important thing. You're responsible, you're honest, and you're a delightful human being to work with. That's all that matters.
and Drago, you mentioned that these memories are not pleasant. That's putting it lightly. Uh, some of it is going to bring up horrors that we have gone through. And may I respectfully and compassionately just state it that the purpose of going through these as a soul, we know what's coming, we choose them. It is to teach us, remember, and strengthen the ability to heal. It's giving us healing abilities. So as we ascend as a soul and experience greater variety of adversity and adventure, we know, oh, we've healed that. It's like how special forces are trained. I mean, this is all a process of creating very capable beings, very capable souls. So when stuff goes wrong and things get tough, we know we can draw back on that strength. This is where that strength is acquired. Survival through it. You see many people come and ask, okay, what to do now? I've been through all this. What's next? Next is be the glorious you. That was one chapter. It has come and gone, and here you are. Here you are, despite all that has happened. You're just dusting it off and saying, come at me. That takes strength. That's a demonstration of strength beyond the structure of the human. That's showing merit of the soul. That is the point. There and so bless you. The fact that you are here, stronger than ever. Oh boy, you're stronger than ever. This not only did not break you, it toughened you up. You're a different type of crystal now, tougher than diamond. And so continue. I think we should all bless one another that we may continue with this spirit of truth, the Vajra. Vajra is the truth that is solid as diamond and strikes like lightning. That describes what we are trying to bring in. Once you have access to that, you are unbreakable. Let me give you the honorary title, the unbreakable Drago. Proven, right? For all to see.
And we're still here.
You're muted.
I'm sorry, like that really sums me up like unbreakable because what I've been through, oh my God, they've done so much to me and I've always tried to how do you sum it up? How do you put it into words what that even means? It's like you no longer suffer from the thought process of that. Like people, when I give that warning earlier in QHHT sessions, people tell me they're ready to hear the truth. I'm ready. I can handle anything. Apparently you weren't because when your higher self chose you to show you certain things, it really freaked you out. And only the people that's done these sessions and done these types of hypnosis, they know what that means. I thought I was ready, but to see the truth of reality, it's different. SSP, a lot of people say SSP is like we're all superheroes, we're all good guys, and we're all part of the Marvel Disney. If you know what really happens in the SSP, man, you wouldn't be walking around saying you're a hero. We are ordered to murder innocent populations.
We're also ordered to modify humans into hybrids and other creatures and living beings. So modification is a big one.
You can see that me saying that is very heavy on my heart and soul. And it's hard to say it because everything is so beautiful. And we've been programmed to destroy. And we can't not do it. We've been programmed to do it. So when we break down in the field, whenever we act out, a lot of times they just punish us. You know? We try to save as many souls as we can amongst what we're ordered to do. But you gotta just keep doing it no matter what because you know it's right to do. You know? That's why I can see the life in everything. I can see the life in everything, no matter what it is, no matter how ugly it looks. I used to judge people when I would see people that had deformations. I would have a thought that come to my mind, like, "Oh my God, Jesus." Now I don't do that. I see people with that and I say, "I love you. Thank you for taking this burden on to challenge yourself and to challenge others. Thank you. You are a powerful soul." But to see that in everything now, it's changed my life. Like the person I just started loving myself within my 40s. I'm 45 now. And it took me like 3 or 4 years ago to actually say I love myself. Most people never achieve that. I can look at myself now in the mirror and say, I love you. I forgive you. When I couldn't look in the mirror most of my life because of what happened to me, you know? A mirror is the reflection of your truest self to your subconscious. So like when people don't love themselves, they never want to look in the mirror. They hate mirrors. They hate what is looking back at them. And now I send myself love. I thank you for the trauma I went through. I thank my body for going through that trauma and being broken and still waking up, no matter about if I was broken or not. I still decided to keep going forward no matter what. Because the only way forward is forward. Sometimes in order to move forward, you got to take a step back because you realize that you were doing a bunch of things that wasn't in alignment with your mission. So again, it's the art of war. It's the Jedi mantra, the what Yoda says. Sometimes in order to face the truth, you must face yourself. Until you face yourself, you can't move forward. You can't wake up and download what you need to do if you don't love yourself, because it's almost like if you don't love yourself, you short circuit your energetic I'm bad with small words. It's kind of like you put a block on your own awakening by not acknowledging yourself. You only focus on everybody else. Like the number one people, one of the top three regrets upon death is I lived for others and I didn't live for myself. You know how many people that I put under and tell me that they don't have a life because their entire life is about supporting their family and their children? And you realize that's not true love. In those sessions, those people are told that you're not capable of love because you don't prioritize yourself. You don't love yourself. You only love others. If you can't love yourself, you cannot truly love another. And to the parents I've told that to, a parent will always say, that's bullshit. You can't tell me I don't love my child. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you it's something you can't understand. It's something you will never unlock until you start putting yourself first. Like I was saying earlier with Amir, you do this for everybody at the detriment of your own soul. I was never putting myself first. I was putting the healing of others above my own healing. And all the energy I could have taken to heal myself, I chose to heal others. And look what it did to me. Like it really plagued me for a lot of my life because I've been helping people since I was a kid. You know how many lives I've saved outside the SSP and the here and now? You should see, if you could review my Akashic record, how many people I have saved physically and mentally. And every person I save, oh my God, it lights a fire in my heart. Like when I'm done with a really hard session that took 7, 8 hours when I thought it would take 5. And the stuff I had to go through with that client was so overwhelming that energetically it took everything. But when I leave that session, I feel so alive once it's done. Because, like, look what I helped do for that person. Look what they know about themselves now. Look what they can now achieve with their life. To help them is to help myself. Every person I awaken, I'm helping myself because I'm seeing stuff in them that reflect my own life. So the more people you help, you realize there's all these crossovers about yourself. So the more sessions you do, the more you discover about yourself. The more you do it from the heart, the more heart-oriented information is going to come back to awaken yourself. That's what life's about, man. Not about doing it to gain something. Doing it to gain knowledge of yourself. That's what I realized.
Yeah, and we're not celebrities. I haven't gone to one conference in my life. I don't appear on news media, on big shows. I just quietly do the work that I'm meant to for myself and with others behind the scenes. I don't want celebrity. I don't want guru status. I'm not your high guru teacher. That's not, I don't want to be on any pedestal. I'm just not interested in any of that spotlight media, not interested. Not here for that. That's not my mission. I'm just here to help best way I can for you to find your own truth and be the best person that you can be. It's as simple as that. And how can people find you guys? So please give me your contact information.
Drago, please go ahead.
All right, you can find me on fractaloflight.com. It's FRCTAL. I named my website Fractal of Light because that's what you are. You are a spark of source. We are all a fractal of light. Through there, you could find, I have 2 different links on my page. You could find my 2 different podcasts on rumble.com. That's Portal to Another Dimension, and I have the Rebel Collective. Other than that, I do 1 hour and 3 hour Zoom personal one-on-one calls, talk about what's going on in your life. I offer that through my website. Other than that, that's it. I'm just here to help awaken as many souls as I can to help you get past your life obstacles and help you identify how to get outside of your own self-sabotaging traps.
I've got a website called Wizard of Wivenhoe. I offer energetic healing and Akashic readings, but also working with the technology of the runes, Q&As. Check it out. I've got a tiny channel on YouTube called Wizard of Wivenhoe. Please subscribe Your support is much, much appreciated. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity of us coming together. This was beautiful. It was compassionate. It was respectful. We brought our truth, and may the all truth shine brightly. In the light of truth, distortion cannot exist. It's destruction through enlightenment. All can see. May they choose with pure discernment, and may they continue to heal and evolve. Blessings to everyone.
Beautiful. And I could be found at Awakening Cosmic Reality Show on my YouTube channel. Messages from a Star Traveler, my website, where I share wisdom teachings, profound information, some books, sometimes I do sessions. And so that's where I can be found. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. It has been an illuminating, beautiful conversation of like minds and souls sharing beautiful things.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
I love everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, and namaste and blessings to everybody, to our audience.
To be continued. Yeah, we should do this again.
On a regular basis.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Take care. Have a great evening, great day, whatever time. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye.